that's tuning in from Seychelles. I don't know if you're
The
familiar with that part of the
Seychelles.
world. Yeah,
Uh, where is that? Is that like off this Spain or something? Or like
off the
some
coast of
European?
Africa,
Okay, like yeah, like in
small
the
island.
Atlantic somewhere.
Yeah, it's on the east coast, off the east coast.
Yeah, I think I've seen the name of that place several times. I think you're always focused on how you say it,
Uh-huh.
not really where it is.
Yeah, I don't know the pronunciation of it, but I was just
I think
going
it is Seychelles, right?
They
Seychelles.
should fix
Okay.
that. They should fix that
Yeah.
if you know, that's my It's a free suggestion to them and their tourism
Very
board.
nice.
Right.
Very nice.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
They should change their name to like seashells in the Atlantic off the coast of Africa.
She sells
Just
Seychelles by the seashore.
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Writes
All right.
itself.
Go ahead, start recording the audio, senor.
Hmm.
Three, two, one, let us go.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 193 of your Endless Ranters podcast. We do what we want and we appreciate your support. My name is Chris, and I'm one of your hosts for this evening. I'm joined by a soggy mom living in a crunchy mom's world, playing with her dog. How you doing, Kwana?
I'm being controlled by this puppy.
Yeah, you got to keep that sucker busy.
Sorry.
Speaking of keeping suckers busy, this producer Manny, what's going down, my man?
Is there a sucker behind me, or
I'm
am I
sorry,
talking to a sucker? What's going on here?
That was a
That was
cheap
like an
shot.
immediate, yeah,
Cheap
the
shot.
low hanging fruit joke.
Chris is over here choosing violence today, man. I understand that you haven't been on the
love
mic for a while, but you're really coming in hot today.
online violence, Zoom violence. I'm all about it.
What about silent violence? Because you know silence is violence too, man.
Oh, I love
So
that. Yeah, I'll give you the cold treatment that'll fucking hurt you.
Have you been
Cut,
kicked out
cut
of
you,
any groups?
cut you deep.
Because I noticed you haven't been talking about your feminist group.
oh man.
No, I guess these crazies, they post a lot of stuff. It's hard to keep up with, and it's also extremely depressing. So it's like
Yeah.
it's not only rapid fire, but it's rapid fire depressing stuff.
Right.
You
And
get
you are
overwhelmed
in
by
there
it.
as a man, like as a support man. Is that like, or do you
No,
have like
I
a
mean,
woman's fake?
I
Do
like,
you have like a lady burner account?
oh, it's just me. I laugh every now and then. I like when I laugh at one of their things and then someone will make a comment like, whoever laughed at this is like something.
Oh yeah, I get
I'm
that
like,
too
yeah,
sometimes.
probably I am. You're probably right. At this point
Yeah.
in the game, you're probably right.
I feel like if
Yeah.
you're gonna go that far with it, you might as well just come out and say who it is that you're referencing, you know?
Oh, I'm in some weird Facebook group that
No,
tricked
no, no,
me.
not you, but like the whenever you find yourself in a situation like that, like the person that's just calling you out, be like, yo, just call me
Or
out,
they should
man.
like apparently these women have been victimized by like dozens of men. They should start calling out these men or something. It's like it's just very depressing.
What do you mean,
So
Chris? We're still living the Me Too era. So I mean
are
they're
we?
still calling them out. I think they
Telling
are,
I
I'm
you,
not sure.
guess.
your weird group is the counter group to mine, which is Lady Business with Cat. I think it's KAT. It might be CAT, but I think it's KAT. And
Wait,
I
is this
mean,
like a group for female entrepreneurs
it's only for women only. And I'm telling you, it's everything from selling my pregnancy urine so I can trick my husband to my husband is interested in like the craziest things
okay.
you've ever heard of in your life.
Yeah.
Like it is everything across the board to like how do you make, magnesium spray. It's just lady business. It's the weirdest group, but only for ladies. But if there's ladies listening, say hi to
Yeah.
me.
You should
You're all the worst. You're all the worst. Just, we need to come to this. Like I said, we need to flip
Yeah,
this
you're
thing.
done feeling sorry for these ladies.
Yep. You're all the worst. You're all like sneaking around, like, thinking up of all kinds of stuff.
Hey, I saw that Ashley
All
Madison
I had to hear was like
documentary.
fake
You
urine,
guys are
fake
thinking up stuff
pregnancy,
too. You guys are
fake
thinking up some
pregnancy
stuff
urine.
too.
About
40
what?
million members on the Ashley Madison, 40 million members on the Ashley
All
Madison
chicks,
thing.
all women, all skanks. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
I don't need to even do any kind of research to know this. Not that I
That
know.
documentary was
Oh,
wild.
to be honest, they're probably all like 6, 7, 8 grade age girls because they're all just like, that's when you're at your wickedness, you know,
So
like,
what? And then they're just using a burner account, just trying to fuck with people. Is that?
probably little terrorists. Anyway, I
Oh
don't want to, I don't
gosh.
want to go off,
Yeah.
On seventh grade, girls.
all of you, all of you,
Mm,
what you put us through,
I told
what you
you.
put my son through at sixth grade, what I went through in
I
sixth grade.
mm.
I had to go meet with the girl's mom when my son was in seventh grade, and it was embarrassing. The things that I had to show her that her daughter was
I like how,
sending to
like,
my son.
basically, as soon as girls hit puberty, which is a couple years maybe before boys, and like
Mhm.
Yeah,
boys are still picking their nose, like have no idea what's going on. Like women are just
yeah.
terrorizing, like totally manipulating, taking advantage of, at that point, the weaker sex.
Mhm.
Right. And then fast forward like 10, 15 years, and then like dudes don't really respect or aren't like acting the right way, you know,
Right.
towards you, and you're just like, I bet it was his mom.
Always blaming it on the mom.
Yeah. It's like,
You know
no,
what?
no, no. You know what
You're
it was? It
right.
was like, it was
It
a sixth
happens.
grade, 1983, sixth grade. And it's all these this tight ass Jordache jeans that were walking around Perry Hall Middle School, spinning me around like a top.
Not the
Anyway, not that
Jordache
it's me.
jeans.
Like I have
Hey
my views,
man,
all my views were towards women are perfectly healthy. So
the
Yeah.
Jordache look is timeless. I don't care what
Yeah,
anybody
he's
says.
right.
Sorry,
those are
continue.
You're
some
right.
times where like they were wearing like were they Candies tennis shoes, like just the white sneakers and like
Candies. Oh,
the
Keds.
tightest Jordache jeans you could ever, like,
Yeah.
just like physically. I don't know how you get into them,
Yeah.
because I don't even think denim was elastic back then. That was before all that
It wasn't.
technology. Yeah,
It wasn't.
it
It
was
wasn't.
before the
You'd have to put them on
elastic.
like a little bit wet. Well, yeah, there were some tricks.
Yeah,
We were at Guess in California, and Guess jeans were like the big deal. If you had a pair of Guess
I
jeans.
guess it was a mix. Yeah,
Yeah.
Perry Hall was more of a blue collar area. It was more Jordache.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordache and Lee, some Lee jeans mixed in there. Because
Yeah. I had a
uh,
stepdad who had adopted me, and he felt, I don't know, like, I don't know, because he like soonly divorced my mom after. So I guess he felt bad. I don't know, but he would buy me all kinds of like fancy stuff. So if I saw something in a magazine, like I had like the fanciest loafers and Guess jeans.
it's
I had the
nice.
weirdest mother. Yeah. Oh,
My dad had
but
no
yeah.
problem buying me the cheapest, kedsiest stuff. You know,
Yeah.
he had no problem.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
humiliation is a part of life.
Especially in the Asian
It's true.
household, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being humiliated because of your socioeconomic status is a ritual you must go through.
Rite of passage.
Yeah. But anyway, what's going on in this world? It's been a couple weeks.
Well, since we're talking about women, let's lead in with Caitlin Clark, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Oh
The,
man,
the
I'm just trying.
WNBA
I'm
doesn't
trying.
get enough coverage, so let's do them a solid and talk about them.
Have we heard what the
Yeah.
Hoteps have said about her? Do they have a thought?
What
Or
were
we
they
not?
saying?
Because I feel like the WNBA is being a little bit hateful, like, because I mean, is it like reverse? I don't know. I hate to say it out loud, but
I don't know. I don't remember really. I listened to them yesterday, but I didn't finish the episode. I don't know that they got into that in the first half, because they do save those types of things for later. But they usually
I feel
just
like the
take they usually
WNBA.
yeah,
Yes.
they usually just take like a kind of a measured approach, like, have a measured reaction to those types of things. Like, she brings on a lot of attention. She's not the best player in the world, but
Right.
like, yeah, you're not, the other girls aren't doing themselves any favors by acting the way they are towards her.
Yeah, it's
But at the
weird.
same time, like, at the same time, they're all young women. They're all very, very, very competitive,
Yeah,
and they kind of had their own thing. You know what I mean?
sure.
They just had their own thing, and they were all kind of broke, and they were all ignored, and they kind
Right.
of had their own, sorority of, you know, good athletes that weren't getting a lot of
Right.
attention. But and then like someone comes in, and then like, there's so many new followers and new people with
Right.
opinions about your thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so I can understand also how they're not taking it that well. But my overall opinion is that the WNBA and the people that run it and own it, which is the NBA, were just like, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Like 2 years
The
ago, when Angel
controversy.
Reese, when there was like the racial animosity, the racial thing. I mean, that kind of always works in America in sports, whether it's the quarterbacks or whether it's the boxers,
Yeah.
you know,
They really want us to believe that we are racist.
or whether it was the NBA in the 80s with like Magic and Larry Bird and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And like, or like part of it was like, I think a lot about the Detroit Pistons I guess it was the mid to late 80s with Bill Laimbeer and Isaiah Johnson yet. Yeah. I mean, it's been so long
Thomas?
since these names were household names.
Right.
But
Isaiah Thomas?
Isaiah Thomas. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Johnson Thomas. Yeah. Bill Daly, I think, was the head coach, but like they were the bad boys of Detroit. So there was just
Yeah.
like you tuned in because there was going to be a fight.
Right.
So
Some
I want to
controversy.
be honest about how like the NBA got a lot of traction in the 80s with kind of racial animosity, and you were tuning in to see Bill Laimbeer, the big white guy who I hated, like body check, the really skilled, more athletic black, guard or whatever. So
Right.
so it kind of worked. So I think that that's kind of what's happening now. And instead of like, I don't really judge the girls too much, the young female athletes, but they're all kind of playing their role and they don't really know. I mean, they're so young, like
Yeah.
they don't even know. And obviously there's
Yeah.
some big differences between Caitlin Clark and her rivals and Angel Reese and kind of their personas and attitudes and media training. But I also think that like Caitlin Clark, she's got a machine behind her telling her to like keep it short and not say much.
Right.
And Angel Reese and those other girls probably have a machine behind them telling them to be sassy and like,
Right.
to play their part. And it's like, it's all, and they're very young and they're just like, okay. And then they all probably get more notoriety and paid more in the end because of these things. So they kind of go along with it.
Right.
But then they also complain about it at the same time. I don't know. To me, it's a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, but like you
whatever.
said, it's bringing attention to it. So I guess any publicity is good publicity. Is not like the nature of the beast,
Yeah, I
the
have like
machine, if you will.
there's like the chances of me watching the NBA or even like
It's
like is like almost zero. Like
Yeah.
I'm more just I'm kind of a sports snob a little bit. I don't like watching. I don't really like watching college football or even college basketball in general anymore because it's like it's not as good. Their players
Right.
aren't as top notch.
Right. And if you're gonna
But
spend your time watching something, it should be good, right?
but I am interested in like the cultural phenomenon, like because
Yeah.
maybe in 10 years the WNBA is actually profitable and there's enough
Well, I
young
mean, that's probably the
girls.
hope,
Yeah,
right?
that's their goal. Like maybe it is, and there's enough young girls or there's enough entertainment in the playoffs that it's profitable and enough women and men watch the league. And
Do
I
you
don't
feel
really
like that Brittany
care.
Griner thing brought like more attention to it? Because I don't think I had one friend that was always talking about the WNBA, but I mean, that's it. One out of like I have, layers
Well, I
of
mean, it's
friends.
sure I knew the WNBA existed, but yeah, the Brittany Griner thing probably made a lot of people aware of like that didn't know
Right.
that there was a
People
women's
aren't going to
basketball.
games and that
Yeah.
the stand like that they aren't getting the attention that maybe they should or whatever.
Well,
So hopefully
I,
it's good. I heard that it went from like just nothing to, they're able to charter
well,
planes. Like it's gonna change the game maybe a little bit, right?
I think I'm wrong and we're wrong and we're being a little bit too hopeful there because yeah, I just remembered that so Caitlin Clark was drafted and then I guess she was drafted, but she didn't start the season. There's
Is she
something
the one
weird
that
about.
like shot like all those things? She was like on the news, or is
I'm
that the
not really
same
even,
girl?
I'm not even
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
I don't even know. Like,
All
I guess
right.
she's pretty good, I
All
guess, but
right.
she was never a national champion in college. But what was I saying? So what was I saying? I forget what I was saying.
You can't ask me. I'm sorry.
It was
I smoked
about
too much weed.
Oh no, so the reason why the Brittany Griner did not do any good for the WNBA is because
mm,
when the season started, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, I don't think those girls were playing yet. Or no, maybe it was last year when Brittany Griner made her first appearance, first comeback game after being a Russian prisoner.
Right.
And having the Lord of War exchanged, an international arms dealer criminal let loose, a Russian international arms dealer let loose on the globe so that she could get out.
Right.
When she had her first game back for whatever team she plays for, I have no idea. There was no one there. No one cared. And I guess I know this because her head coach made a headline because her head coach was just like, I can't believe people didn't show up for this homecoming. And I was like, who? Oh, I forgot about you. I just forgot that you.
I'm in that AJ Benza group, and it's called Fame is a Bitch. But they literally hate on Brittany Griner, Lizzo, and there's one other person. Like it's like nonstop, just those.
Yeah, I think
maybe, and it's probably going to be the new Miss USA also. Like that's
I was just
coming
trying to
soon.
I'll just be honest. Like when Brittany Griner was a prisoner, I was pissed and I wanted her out because it's like
Yeah.
I don't care that she didn't stand for she knelt or she didn't stand for the play. I don't care. She's an American.
That's part of being an
Y'all,
American. You get
y'all are
to choose whether you're going to stand or sit. We don't get mad at
yeah.
Jehovah
Like
Witnesses for not doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
this foreign country's trying to fuck with you. They're trying, they're about to start a war. They're trying to use you as a pawn. This is not
yeah.
cool. We need to get her back. Now, do we need to like give up, the greatest arms dealer in the history of arms dealing for her? I don't know. Maybe we could like do something else, but we did. And also, she has a very nice smile. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
It's a
And
very
she's about to be
pleasant,
a new
very
mom,
nice
right?
smile. Her voice a little deep, but it's a nice smile. Focus on the
That's what they
positive.
say in the famous bitch.
You got to focus on the positive. But yeah, no one was interested in when she came back to the league.
Well,
There was no like,
you know,
there was not even a t-shirt shotgun. They weren't even shooting shotgun.
We'll hold out hope for the WNBA that, one day they'll
They didn't even
get it
spring for
together.
the thing that shoots out t-shirts that says Britney's
T-shirt
back.
cannon.
They had to just throw the Britney's back t-shirts.
Do they I mean,
couldn't even spring for the
Could've-
t-shirt cannon.
It's Britney, bitch.
I was gonna say there's so many Britney like themed things that they could have like jumped on, Britney written in Barbie font or, Britney written, all
Yeah, she
kinds
could
of
have been like
things.
at least she's
In a
not
plaid
that Britney.
skirt.
Could have been like at least she's not that Britney and showed like Britney like with the knives on a stripper pole.
That's good.
Like which Britney really deserves to be in prison?
Call in now and let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So are we? Yeah. So the Caitlin, I don't know. It's like
I don't care. I just don't care. There's so many things. It's like, who cares about the WNBA? I'm sorry, I don't fucking care.
I mean, but I also will admit that
hear
like
first from a woman.
there seems to be like a weird non-argument though.
Because
you got one group saying like the only reason she's popular is because she's white.
Right.
And we feel a certain way about that. And then you got the other group saying basically like, well, yeah. Well, yeah.
what else do you need?
I'm sorry, like, my little, little Tanya here, whatever, like little daughters, like can't have a easier time like looking up to someone that looks like them. It's like, I mean, isn't that the same reason why people of all minorities like want representation, like in Congress, or where like people want that look like them, whether it's in their police force or their teachers or their local government, you want representation. So it's like,
actually, I want to know from Quana, do you want more soggy mom representation out there in the world?
When I was a kid, y'all, seriously, like no black Barbies, no black babies, no brown black baby, nothing, like only blonde babies. And you would tell my mom that I was gonna have a blonde baby, and she said, "You're probably not gonna have a blonde baby." And then when I grew up, I was like, "I'm gonna have a blonde baby," and like I wouldn't ever date a guy that had any type of like. I love gingers. blonde. Like, I don't want you to
Same.
have any color. So it's just, I don't know. Like, I think I was conditioned by that there was none of that. But I mean, on television, like we had Good Times and I remember Little Janet Jackson, but I had like a white stepdad. So I really thought that, everybody was just mixed and a little bit of this and a little bit of that until I went to an all white school. And then they told me, a lot of the kids told me, and it was I get dark in the summer, and I went to that school black as night. I really did. And they were like, why is your skin so dark? And I was just like, oh my God, like I don't know. Like I had no answer. But I remember being in third grade and
Damn.
like feeling like, why is my skin so dark? Like it never occurred to me that like some people have dark skin, some people have white skin, like that I was different because I grew up in like a South area where everybody's skin was like different shades of brown. And yeah, there were some white kids, but it wasn't a big deal. And then when I went to the all white school and I was like there were like two Chinese kids in the school and me, it was like, what the fuck is wrong with your skin? Like, I was like, I don't know. Sorry.
Have you ever, when you see like an albino man, are you just like, oh, whoo, you know,
Yeah.
whoo?
Well, like David Letterman, I grew up like that was like, I thought he was like so I loved his white skin. I loved his freckles. Like I would stay up late because I love David Letterman.
So when you see an albino, you just get real flustered, like, oh boy,
Yeah.
carried away.
My
Steam
husband
pours
is
out of her
very
head.
fair skinned. Yeah. I because I wanted white children and my children are like Kylie's blonde, my son's white as can be. I wanted white children. And I don't know why. I mean, and maybe I thought like somewhere in my mind that being brown was bad because I went to that school and they were like, why is your skin brown? I was like, I don't know. I remember saying to somebody, I
Just
don't
is, leave
know
me
why my skin
alone.
is brown.
I looked a little different than most kids. I looked a little different from most white kids in, Perry Hall, Maryland. Um, but I was definitely like a few shades off, right? And
Yeah.
facial features like a little bit different. My dad, half Korean. So I remember like girls, but they, it was okay. I was fine with the girls, but it's like I would hear them say things like, he looks different. Like, what is he? Stuff like that. But like,
Yeah.
I'm also kind of like something like,
What is he? Like it's like what
yeah.
kind that's a horrible question.
But I
Like
never
it
like, for
internalized it.
me, yeah, for me, I was just like, again, I was like, oh, that's just kind of like what they're saying. I never really
Yeah.
like made me like, it never made me feel a certain way other than like, that's what they're saying. It's like, okay, I
Right.
don't look like everybody else. Like, okay, well, they don't look like me either. So it's like, oh,
I've often been confused for an Arab. It's like, no,
Oh yeah.
100% Mexican. Like, really? It's like, yep. And they have a hard
I
time
got
believing it too. It's like, I wouldn't lie about something like that. Like, what the fuck?
maybe if they see your
I,
last name, because your last name will, throw you for a loop. When you say it, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, it sounds like that. But when you look at it, it's like, where the hell is
yeah.
that name from? But no offense,
Yeah.
you know,
Totally.
Look, it's
now I
none
know.
taken. It wasn't my choice. It was forced upon me and my people. We had no say in the matter. If that gives you an indication as to where it came from.
But I do remember that like from an early age, maybe
White
like,
people.
yeah, like a very early age that like I would hear girls say like he looks like what, yeah, like that.
Mm.
Yeah. Ugh,
It's
girls
an
are the
interesting way
worst.
to come up.
Yeah. I
Oh,
I guess
got
I just thought, I
Bill.
guess like if there's like humans try to normalize things, so you kind of maybe you think of like, well, maybe they say that about like maybe they said that about the other boy.
hmm
That must be a boy thing because girls are like, oh my God, that's me. Why do they
Yeah,
hate
y'all
me?
are
Why am I like
fucking,
this?
yeah,
Why am I so ugly? Why is
damn.
my skin brown?
I'll tell you what. Well, I mean, I saw this meme, or I don't even know what did you call it. It wouldn't be a meme. It's like a damn confessional of depression. I don't even. It's just a statement of depression. Let's
Is
just
that the
call it
one
that.
where the mothers are trying to, did you send
No,
me
it's the daughter. There's a woman who writes a post, and it's got like a background. You know what I mean? It's like one of these things you
the
see like
music?
copied and
Yeah.
pasted, and it's like, well, no, it's got like a weird like nature background
Yeah.
for some reason. Like it's got a nature background, which is all about life, while this woman is talking about how if she was never born, maybe her mom would have thrived, and her mom
Yeah.
wouldn't have been making lunches and like cooking and doing laundry. Her mom would have been a Oscar winning,
Yeah.
recording artist, blah blah blah,
Moms are like,
written books, been a scientist, flown on a space shuttle, gone to Mars by now. Like, oh,
Jesus.
if only I wasn't born. And
see,
I love
that's
How
why
the
this.
I have
mom
mom
took
so
that.
hard. My kids know, like, that bitch was born to me, my mom. Like, I mom hard. There's no question that I was ever going to be a rocket scientist.
But like this woman's like, it's like, do you
It sounds
really
like she
sit
has some
around
hangups or
thinking?
something,
Yeah,
man.
like, do you really sit around thinking about how much better the world would be
Maybe
if you
her
just
mom
weren't
told
born?
her. Maybe her mom told her that. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I
I'll tell you
said
one
some
thing, her
moms are
dad
really
didn't.
fucked up and
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
tell them,
they guilt their children. It's like I could have been
yeah,
this, I could have been that, then you happened.
especially with daughters, like they're jealous of their daughters and they say mean things to their daughters.
Yeah, there's definitely a
My daughter
weird.
has friends that have some weird mothers.
Yeah, my mom has always kind of been the same to me and my sister, but yeah, my sister like takes these things to heart, and I'm just
Sure.
like, and me, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just like,
same.
all right, we're good. Hey,
I,
kids, let's pack it up, and we just leave.
Nothing to see
Just
here
like,
anymore.
and like,
yeah.
and then it's like to me, it's like on the way home, just like, yeah, I think she said something. I don't know what she said, but she said something that like just bothered me. So just like, let's get the hell out of here. It has no bearing on my existence or
Mhm.
what,
Yeah.
or like, I have no other thoughts other than like, time to go.
Sons are good at compartmentalizing their mothers.
My
I feel
grandma,
like daughters get more invested.
grandma's getting tired. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, but yeah. And it's just like, oh, that's my sister would tell me like these things, but it's like, yeah, yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, I hear her trying to say those things. It's just like, just, just leave.
Ignore it. Who cares?
Like, there's no need to
Yeah.
like snap back or anything. Just be like,
Yeah.
scram time. But yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Thank
maybe it
you.
is. Yeah, but I saw that post. Just like, that's so sad. I gotta like fight
Yeah.
to make sure my daughters never think in those terms of but also like I will say also my mom, she's had all grandsons so far, and then we had twin girls. And yeah, there's a different like she dotes on the boys, right?
Right.
Did she?
Like they can do
Yeah.
no wrong, but with the girls, she's always a little bit, she's definitely a lot like there's just a different energy, like
Maintaining that
to
traditional.
keep them in shape, to keep them like in order, in line. Like,
Yeah.
the boy can knock something over and break it. It's not a big deal. The girl
Yeah.
knocks it
Yeah.
over. It's like, why were you
And the
flailing? Why were you flailing your arms around? I'm just
Right.
kind of like
Yeah.
make
It's an example. Sure.
exaggerating an example of
Right.
like,
For sure.
I sense there's a different attitude.
Yeah.
And
My daughter is the
being
only
the
daughter
scientist
in,
I am, I'm like, I wonder if it's because they're both the same sex. I wonder if it's
yeah.
because they're both females, and because that's the difference. The
Yeah.
boy gets treated well.
Yeah. I think culturally too, like, Asian males are in higher regard than Asian females, right?
I'll tell you a weird thing
eyes
because
almost bugged out right there, man.
because there was a big
No,
fight when I was a kid. There was a big fight
right? Is that
because
not true? Am I making that up?
No,
no,
you're
you're
not
right.
wrong. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
off.
Okay. Okay.
So there was a big fight because I my dad and stepmother came to, it was a Korean, they're both Korean, came to like
Right.
my band recital. My mom was there. My mom was just like, why don't you ever come to my my sister's recitals? And my stepmother just flat out told her the boy is more important. In so many words, just flat out told her like,
Yeah.
this is why. Like, why don't you know? Like, why don't you know this already?
Duh. Hello.
Read a book.
We
Read
have
a
an
book.
hour in the day and it's not going to be for a girl. We got
Read a
this.
book. Read a book and learn about some cultures. Like, they don't care. Like, she's gonna get married off, and like it's really not like
Yeah.
her performance playing the trumpet is not important.
Mhm.
Right.
It was just they have but that was it. But then, but at the same time, like, American moms would be offended by that, but also they have very different attitudes and, different ways they treat their boys and their girls. So it's like, I don't think
I
they're
think
so much different, but it's just my Korean stepmother just said it out loud.
I think
And
some
they're very,
mothers too, if they don't like their daughter-in-law, because I know specifically for me, I don't think that my mother-in-law liked me, and I have literally the only girl child born into their entire lineage,
mm,
and no one accepts her, no one talks to her, no one sends her a special, you're a girl. Like none of them care. Not one dress was sent
mm.
or anything. It's like the weirdest thing. Like she doesn't ever acknowledge her as like you would think if you have one granddaughter and you have all these grandsons that you would like want to buy her a frilly dress or take her to get a manicure or see how she's doing in life.
You
Like
would. I mean,
nothing.
that's kind of like that's a very modern notion, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't
know
know. Yeah, I
either.
don't know about that. Because I think that, like in olden times when like your daughters would get married off or whatever, and you wouldn't live next door,
Right. Right.
they would
Yeah.
just
You would
be,
hope that they got married off, right? To like a better family or to
yeah, and then
with some gold and
you would just kind of assume it'd be pretty far away and you probably wouldn't see them very often. So there may be some kind of like biological or traditional, yeah, not biological, but like traditional way where you just don't get attached. I don't
yeah. Yeah.
know. Not the case
Uh,
now for sure. Yeah, I love my girls. I'm just that and I just want to make sure they never think like that. I think it's,
well,
maybe part of it's chemical or, biological chemical. There's differences in the male and female brains and all that, the chemistry,
sure.
but that you just don't dwell on that. Like that maybe they'll think that every now and then, but they won't like make a meme about it
Yeah.
that
Mm.
Tucker
goes
Carlson
viral.
was saying the other day that like girls that have a good relationship with their dad, like they don't grow up to hate their husbands. Like it's not, like they have to have a good relationship with their dad. And I think it's so important. I gotta let this dog out. Hold on.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right. In general,
Me
yeah, for
too.
sure.
It makes you like men more. If you think your dad's cool and guy things are cool and boys do weird things and
Yeah.
you're more to be like a kind of easygoing girl that's not like, oh my God, why'd you do that? Oh, my dad was like that. You
Yeah, like
know?
the battle of the sexes in modern society and divorce is surely not helped and all that. And, because it's like, it's hard for, like, if you, like, I grew up that way, like my mom and dad, my mom was never like, look at that, look at your dad, he's so cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they were, from a very
Well,
early, they were divorced from a very early age. So it's like,
Well, that's
once
why,
that
because it wasn't cool.
happens, like it's pretty like, honestly, when Laura and I were divorced, I think that we both did a pretty good job of like making each other out to be the hero still,
Yeah.
our kids, because I think we realize that's important that they're not like, even if we're lying, like we really try really hard to like
yeah,
big up the other,
Yeah.
for sure.
because it is important to maintain that
Yeah,
hero status. Uh, it's important to them to have that hero status for both parents, but yeah, like
right.
in divorces for a long time, like that, it's hard when there's animosity. It'd be
Yeah,
hard for a mom to, raise the kids to cherish that their dad's manhood and like, jackassery. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're not together, if you're get together and happy, it's like, oh, look, you know, look at that. Your dad's doing something stupid or crazy or whatever, or,
falling down
wild.
on a scooter, or like you make
Yeah.
it
Like doing,
fun.
yeah. Like,
Like
yeah.
dad's funny.
If you're
Yeah.
together and you go, no, ass over tea kettle on a scooter, it's like funny, look how tough your dad is, but if you're not, then it's like your dad's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Look at what an
Don't be
idiot
any,
he is.
don't be like him at all. Like, I'm so glad
Yeah.
you're not, or they'll, yeah, because I grew up in this dynamic where it's like, it's a good thing you're not like your dad. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Aw.
I see what you're
Wow.
doing there. And like, not in so many words, but it's like they find ways to take digs.
Yeah.
Both parents, like that. because it's not like my dad was a real big fan.
Yeah. Oh,
They were not fans of each other at all. So
I don't even want to get started on that.
yeah. So yeah, it's hard to
Um,
like, it's hard for like to build like to instill like appreciation of the sexes, the male and the female and the traditional roles, or
You do that by
even like
honoring your
ways
wife,
to
like letting
break
them
out.
see
Yeah.
how you honor your wife, letting them see how your wife honors you. Like you let them see that your dynamic works. Like let them see normal, healthy relationship. Like you
Yeah.
guys are
And
doing
that's,
it. They're gonna be
we
fine.
are now. I mean, it's, one of my biggest failings was, the divorce and all that, but we are working at it now. And
You guys are
yeah,
living every child's
it's,
dream, every divorced child's dream. You guys are living that, right?
yeah,
Right?
maybe, but it's
For
tough when like
sure.
yeah, it just, yeah, it makes me appreciate like how hard it would be to kind of gain that, to keep like positive family building and momentum going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, after that, yeah, I think like after that, if you're, then it's like kind of a crapshoot because yeah, there's situations like where things are going great, and I'm just like, this seems very weird. This is like, it's like this is very weird. Like I guess is what I always dreamed of, but it's like it's still very
Yeah.
weird. And then things happen, and you're just not really, you literally just have no example of like, well, how was this when this happened? When I was a kid, my sister and I were fighting about that. Like, how did they deal with it? It's just like I literally have no examples of
Yeah.
how they dealt with things like that together.
Sometimes the best example is like, what would my parents do? Let me do the opposite of that. Like, let's try that on for size.
That, or like maybe you find yourself like, be like, well, Al Bundy told Peg to shut the fuck, like,
That too.
what I mean?
That
Like, or you
too.
find yourself getting raised by culture,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And that's, yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. There we go. So then it's
Dr.
like,
Drew and
yeah,
Adam Carolla for sure have influenced a
where,
lot of my child rearing, like if you care about it, it means that, like you're trying to figure it out in life. Like the way that, I don't know, just like maybe more of the addiction stuff with Dr. Drew, but like I just feel like they've helped form me into the human, like listening to them and their people that they've interviewed over the years. I feel like I've gotten a lot of lessons from outdoor, not that I ever got them from my inside.
yeah. And it's also, well, I guess as a student too, because all at the same time, those guys did a show, which if you listen to Adam Drew show, that's like, what, Jesus, everybody, like 99% of America's from a broken home.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
It also kind of perpetuated this, like, just, oh, everybody's
Well, I watched
dysfunctional.
Teen
It's like,
Mom with my kids, with my daughter, because Dr. Drew was the
well,
Teen
didn't that
Mom
have that had good
guy.
statistics, right? Because
It
of
it
course he was,
changed
wasn't he?
literally. Yeah, it changed. No, he changed the numbers. Like Teen
Yeah.
Mom single-handedly changed the numbers. Girls were like, "What the like? This is
What
horrible."
I'd
We
like to
named
do
our
is
dog
put Dr.
Bentley
Drew.
because of Teen Mom. There was a mom on there that named her baby Bentley, and she would say Bentley.
I
So
would
we
put.
named
I
our
want to put
dog
Dr.
Bentley.
Drew on a lie detector test and be like, is that why you did this? You really thought you were going to reduce teen pregnancy numbers?
I think
Is that why you signed
so.
up for
I
this?
always felt like he cared about the teen
Yeah.
mom and like the sex stuff. And I don't know. I love Drew. I know you don't care for him, but I love him. I feel like he has
I don't
saved my
dislike.
life in a million
Yeah,
different ways.
something's not right. Something's not right. But
He's
it's
a man of
good.
passion.
I've got no proof. But yeah, yeah, I would just have to say, like, I wonder, like, if everybody at MTV is just like, now they're just like, yes, that really that lowered teen pregnancy. It's like, really?
It did.
Is that what y'all were thinking
Statistics.
about?
It lowered the statistics.
I know. I just want to
Yes.
know. I want to go back to like, a couple years before the show aired in their boardroom. Is like, was that what y'all were talking about? Like, we're gonna create a show that lowers teen pregnancy, or were you like, we're gonna have a show with a bunch of teenage hoes that have kids with dysfunctional
Right with
boyfriends?
their
Like,
moms.
yeah,
You're right.
like,
You're right. You're right. You're right.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have shows
Reality
about.
TV has always been
Just
trash.
basically, we're gonna have shows about teens that put out.
Yeah.
Basically, it's proven. Like, it's like
You're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
You're right. But I still love Drew. I
Who are
still love
who are
Drew.
like kind of like medium attractive, gettable,
Yeah.
like
Oh
damsels
no, all of it.
damsels
It
in
was,
distress, like classic damsels in distress with a kid.
yeah,
But not
it was
like
very watchable TV.
the
Because some
distress
of
was a
them had
kid.
like the full, the baby daddy or whatever was part of it. Like all of it. Yeah, the show was very entertaining.
I remember seeing some of it because like at that point they're still like if you were on like the lower 30 channels of basic cable, like you would get people to watch your show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I watched so many reality shows. I feel like I have my finger on the pulse for like the early what's his name? Oh my gosh. Damn it. Oh, I
See, you
can't think
haven't
of
had your finger
it.
on the pulse for so long, you don't even remember
I
the guy's name.
know.
Such a
Damn
party
it.
foul, Q.
It's because I've had a half a bottle of champagne. I should put that down.
These things happen. It's all right.
Anyways, yeah.
Well, you're living
Yeah.
your best life, just like 50 Cent is.
Isn't his name Yes. Oh my God. That's so good.
What a world. 2024 has 50 Cent.
It's really kind of paying off
I'm
almost,
even
right?
now, like I used to say 50 Cent. Now I'm saying 50
No.
Cent.
Biddy. Yeah, you gotta
It
say
finally
Biddy.
caught on, bro.
Even me, I'm changing. Yes. I'm
You're
The
growing.
owning.
irony of Biddy and Diddy is not lost on this little Indian, though, I will tell you that.
I didn't
So
I didn't care two shits about 50 Cent about like a month or two
Until,
ago, and then Diddy got raided, and then 50 Cent started dropping all these funny memes and jokes about Diddy.
uh-huh.
It's like I just appreciate him now. I really do. Really
Man's
do.
a troll. I enjoy his antics.
It's
Diddy?
hilarious. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
50 Cent.
then he goes, then yeah. First he's just trolling the hell out of Diddy. And then all the other newly exposed Cat Williams victims in the rap world, like
Mm.
world, but
Why are we calling them Cat
and
Williams
now
victims when he literally is just exposing them
oh,
for
that was
what's
just yeah.
happening?
Well,
Right? I
just
mean,
because he did it to them, that's all. Yeah,
well, they
victim's
did it
probably
to
not the right word,
themselves.
but like he
Yeah.
exposed the
Some
exposees of Cat
truths.
Williams.
Pointing them out in the
Right.
courtroom.
But like
That
he's in Congress. I shared a
was
picture in
funny.
our group of him and Texas Congressman Wesley Hunt. I think he's out of like somewhere in the Houston area.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Houston. Yeah, Houston area.
It's Houston, by
But
the way. Yeah, it was...
but he made the rounds. Like I guess there's a picture of him and Nancy Pelosi. Like they're all kinds of members of Congress were like trying to get their picture taken with 50 Cent,
With 50 Cent.
and he wasn't. And it
Well, they
wasn't like
were like, remember them when they were dealing with their African garb on
Oh, and
after?
kneeling.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was
remember?
incredible. That was incredible.
So, I mean, maybe they're just like, oh, George Floyd, maybe black is black. Like, unless
I don't
you're,
know. He was there to see Republicans, so that. But yeah, it's just amazing. And it's not Bill Clinton going to the hood to like find some, local hustlers or whatever. No, this is 50
No.
Cent. 50 Cent changed, got into a suit, and then went to Capitol Hill and was like meeting with various members of Congress, left, right, Democrat, Republican, male, female, having his picture taken,
Yeah.
talking to
And what did he
reporters in a
say
suit.
about the RICO charges?
Yes, some reporter asked him, maybe Manny can bring it up, I don't know, but like report asked him if he had made up his mind who he's voting for, and he said, no, I haven't, which
Yeah.
is a lie.
Yeah.
And then she asked him, like, who do you think, I don't know, what did she say? Who do you think black people identify with? Something to that effect.
Yeah.
And he started to kind of walk away, and then he turned around and said, I think they identify with Trump. And she said, why? And he's like, because they got RICO charges too.
So good. It's so
It's
good.
like it's so good. It's like actually the vast majority of black people do not have RICO charges against them. It's a very, very minuscule
It's a small amount.
percentage. Tiny, very tiny percent. If we could be clear. Like I know you're trying to help and you're helping in some ways, but you know, like maybe anyway, but no. Everybody got what he was saying, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
He just out having his best,
Dude's
It was
clever
fun.
doing
with
his
it.
best.
he was clever with it, yeah. And
We
I'm a
got some
fan. Like,
breaking news today about the juror whose cousin said that. I mean, are we
yeah,
breaking
speaking of
this?
Trump,
Because I feel like that's like today.
it
That's
is
today years
recent.
old.
Yeah, it's been talked about a lot in the last few hours.
So wait, if I were to interpret it correctly, they were blabbing about court rulings when they weren't supposed to, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're a juror, you're not allowed to talk to anybody about the deliberations
right.
until you get the clearance.
It's been a few years since I
But it's
served on a
like,
jury, but yes.
yeah, but it's like, you know, like you think about like, well, what if this person lives in like, you know, a household of 7 people, you know, goes home and it's like, and they know where
Yeah.
you've been. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe they
I
sequester
figure, wait.
themselves or maybe they start talking. Anyway, so what's
Maybe they
happened
drink
is,
wine at night and they're like, hey,
yeah, or just like people don't think.
Just like that.
You know, people run their mouth and
or
just like,
care. Or
I can run my
care.
mouth, and if anybody says anything, yeah, or they're just like,
Does anyone take anything seriously? I'd be like,
yeah, that's
I
true.
would tell Bill everything. Like, I
That's
wouldn't
true.
keep a secret.
Yeah, I guess you're right because I was thinking like this person is telling their relatives because they believe their relatives will keep their mouth shut, but no, this person's
Yeah.
telling their relatives and they don't care. Just don't care.
I just
They don't care if like Aunt Ellen runs her mouth on Facebook or they don't care. That's what I was listening to Tim Pool for a few minutes before we got up, joined the happy hour, but he was saying like, you know, he was kind of like going through what my reaction to it was, which was like, really? Is like, that seems too good to be true to have some weird boomer on Facebook blow up a whole case
Yeah.
because they just ran their mouth. They were like, my cousin said, some dumbass was like, my cousin's a juror and they said he's getting convicted tomorrow. Like,
are they
it sounds like a
related to-
nonsense
like,
statement.
it would seem easy to prove though,
Well,
right?
that's the next part was like, well, hold on a second.
Mhm.
The judge who decided to make this public, the judge would know the first, you know, like the last names and relatives of every juror.
Right.
So would the judge make this public if it was a random jackass on Twitter, which they could find out very easily?
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously.
And make it public?
Oh.
And why would they do it if it's like a nothing? Why would they make it public? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's some theories about that, but then like, or the judge is just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There was a juror with the last name Anderson. And this Michael Anderson on Facebook who said that lives at the same fucking address as the juror name. Oh,
Son
damn.
of a bitch.
Yeah. Could it be that, can Trump be that
MAGA
lucky?
motherfuckers found this shit.
Can Trump be that lucky? Are you kidding me? Like, that sounds too good to be true.
Bro, if that happens, I'm gonna go so loud. I'm gonna make my cover photo, the tweet, whatever
Make the
that,
group cover photo.
whatever
That
the cousin said.
I got it.
Yeah.
Like the cousin and Michael Anderson need to be famous. Like Trump needs to make them like the Secretary of Defense.
Why not? None of it matters.
Oh, no. Like,
That's
no,
what
not
this
that.
is.
Like,
No, you just
no.
broke it,
No.
bro. This is the way that he could get into
No,
Trump's
Michael
good
Anderson-
graces and his presidency cabinet to get a job. It's like, I'm the reason why
guy-
you're back out here ruling the United States, bro. Hook me up with a job.
Yeah, the guy on Facebook, he should be that guy on Facebook that spilled it, that blew the whole case.
Right.
I think it was Michael Anderson. He should just be the head of NSA, the NSA and CIA. He should be in charge of all of our.
Too.
Yeah, he should be in charge of all of our secrets.
Oh man.
That sounds too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know. I don't know what's like. I think about myself and like what I want out of this situation.
If the story that you told me about the girl that worked for the police station is actually working for Amtrak, because she spelled Amtrak wrong, so I'm thinking maybe she's not working for Amtrak and that wasn't her dream.
I assume that was fake.
If
I hope
that
that's
story
fake.
is true,
Is it?
you tell me.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
I've been
share.
telling people that was true. You shared it in our group.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's true. Hey, don't ever say it on my friends' backs.
Well,
It's
if it
totally
is
true.
true, then anything's possible. Like we could be anything's possible,
I mean,
right?
she's a pretty big hoe. I mean, it's true. She could just be putting herself out there like that. She can literally, I mean, this woman has no
I told
shame.
Bill, and he was like, maybe that is her dream. Some
Maybe.
girls are slutty. He said, you don't know. Maybe she likes it. Maybe she likes trains, getting a train, all of the trains.
I think the maybe part is out. Is like the maybe part is gone. With this woman, it's confirmed.
He'd never heard of her.
You don't.
So in his defense,
Yeah.
he'd
Oh,
never
okay.
heard of her.
That's fair. Yeah, but like
I don't live
everybody
in a
that
world
has,
like
like,
that. I was like, what?
yeah. The
Wow.
text messages have been shared. The cops have been fired. The divorce paperwork was filed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that
There's
I live
no
in a world where
mystery.
he's never heard of her, though. Like,
Yeah.
that's
This
kind of
woman's
perfect.
her affinity for trains is not a mystery any longer. Definitely a fan. Definitely a fan of locomotives. But I love the part where she's like, all my new coworkers are so nice to me. Like, yeah, yeah. That's kind of I guess that's a plus of being a total skank, being like a nationwide hoe. It's like, yeah, all your male coworkers are gonna get the door for you. Especially the ugly ones are gonna be like, yeah, choo choo. You're like, it's funny because like that would be I'm pretty sure that'd be the case. Like anywhere this woman goes to work, every man she works with is gonna like be very,
Yeah,
very accommodating. Very
something.
nice.
They're gonna have something to say.
I'll pick up that
Yeah.
shift for you, no problem. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
It's not. She's
Um,
not dumb. She knows what it is. So it's not like
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
she's not gonna capitalize on that.
Yep.
But I don't know. There's so much with
And
Trump going on this week, man.
bro.
yeah, I don't know. We were
Oh,
talking
I
about
feel
that.
so
So like,
bad.
I feel like I don't know. I really was holding out hope that the jury would be like, this is some crazy new novel bullshit and not convict him. I don't know.
I
I
did
guess I
too.
didn't think that. I didn't bet any money on it, but I guess I have to be honest. I held out some small corner of hope that
Yeah,
they would actually acquit him. But yeah,
boy.
I think within the time it came back, it was pretty clear they were going to convict him the whole time,
Yeah. Well, and
which is
that
disappointing.
Facebook post might prove it.
I mean,
Oh,
there's no way that could. There's no way that's just too good to be true. To have some random joker.
like I said, a lot of people have been praying for him this week, so who knows?
And it also happened before the verdict came in. So anyone that looks at that website, or well, that website, anybody that looks
Facebook.
at the Facebook page for the New York City court systems where they just do like, just bureaucratic updates of what's happening. Anybody who looks at it would have seen that post the day before the verdict came in. So yeah.
Guess we'll see. Well, I
Yeah, I
haven't.
guess that's the big question is why would that judge make this public if there's nothing there?
The Q posts, I know no one wants to talk about it, but a lot of the stuff has come true. I know that I'm a crazy person, but I'm here to tell you that one of the early Q posts was the first arrest is going to be like a big surprise. And what if the big surprise is that this lays some sort of precedent that you can go after a presidential, what if he lays a precedent but gets off by a mistrial? And then they finally, I mean, there are some real things that have happened, like Hillary Clinton and those servers, like that was a real thing. They made a movie about it. What was it with the
Yeah, I'm
Ben
still
Affleck
disgusted.
movie?
Yeah, I
Uh,
have I have a long memory.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
like I'm still, I mean, you kind of have to like Compartmentalize your
Argo
outrage.
motherfucker. That was the fucking line. Yeah.
Um,
Crazy.
you're gonna have to compartmentalize your outrage, or just let
Yeah.
new outrage replace the old, or because you can't just keep stacking it on top of itself.
I feel like I have, and that's why I've gone like crazy and gray haired and like all the things. Like it's just so maddening that people just don't understand that these are like it's strategic. It's been for so long, like they've ruined our food. I was screaming about our food in 2013. No one listened to me, but it was making me sick. Like my body was
Yeah,
physically getting sick from the food.
we're probably
No
so
one
fucked about,
cares.
like, no, in this country, I would say that at this
We're
point, we're
fucked.
so fucked by our own food that there's no hope. There's no turning
There's
back.
none.
Like the
There's
shit
no
in our
turning
food
back.
is like you gotta
You got to
be
start composting. You got to make
yeah,
your own
you
soil.
really
You got
have to
to,
go, you got to go like full prepper if you want to not eat chemicals. It's like, and no one, like, there's just very few people that are going to be willing to go to those lengths. I'm in these some
yeah,
other groups where people
canning and all
do
the things.
people do dwell about like the bioengineered stuff and all the chemicals, and they're looking for pure foods, and they're looking for just like people are looking for the simplest of things without
When my
chemicals in it,
body was
like
sick,
pasta
I
or
was
like
allergic. Oh my God, don't even get me started on pasta. Every single pasta that I eat that isn't from Italy makes my stomach like swell out like you can't even believe it. Like 8 months pregnant. It's ridiculous.
yeah, I
Like,
think I'm one of these people that's like I'm not affected by any of those things at all. And I
luckily,
understand
because
that
you're eating
like
a
yeah,
lot of hot pockets.
some people yeah, I'm conditioned to, snack wells and hot pockets and I don't know. And like you used to get remember they used to sell, they probably still do. You get like a French bread pizza, but you'd put it in like this
Oh,
you'd put in
Red
this like
Baron.
you'd put it in this like weird um
Cardboard
cardboard
plastic combo
slat. No, it was like a
box.
cardboard slash plastic slash. It must have some metallic element in it
Yes.
because
Yeah.
by microwaving this thing that's surrounding your French bread pizza, it would
Yeah.
crisp. It would somehow burn.
And they were so
Yeah, that
good. They
can't.
had those little tiny fat pepperonis on them. Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, that can't. That couldn't have been good. Or maybe it was probably better than what you're buying today.
I'm not buying
But
any of that today. I haven't.
yeah, but it's kind
Yeah.
of it, well, I did like the what is it, Smart 30 or like keto something or other
Hard 70.
several years back, where you get real crazy about the sugar, or you just go no sugar, all, um, and you start paying attention and you start realizing like, wow, there's like, they put like this jar of spaghetti sauce has like 2 cups of sugar in it. Like, it's an insane amount of sugar. Like,
Yeah. Bill's diabetic, so
insane.
I have
Like,
to
it's an
like really watch
insane,
it. It's crazy.
and like no
Sugar's
one
so
realizes
crazy.
how much sugar like 8 grams of sugar is. Like, because like who the hell,
Also,
what's a gram? Like, no one knows what a gram is.
Also, don't let me be that crunchy mom, but the
Like,
FDA has like approved 78 different names for sugar. So if you're trying to buy like stuff that doesn't have sugar in it and you're looking for sugar, they call it like monocrose or so or blah blah blah, and you don't even know what it is. It's just another name that the FDA has approved for
for
sugar
sugar,
in
yeah.
a sugar-free product.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like,
It's fucked up.
to my point, like that there's really there's no turning back, because it's like for
Yeah.
us to not have
We're
all these things, like someone would have to like, David Copperfield would have to come out and make the FDA building disappear with all the people in it. Like, and there's just, you can't, like, that's not going to happen. So they're all there and they're all,
Yes, this week when he was talking about the CIA and how they were talking about Trump. He had somebody on. It was an episode that Mark Garagos was on this week, and he played like maybe it was Adam Schiff doing like a Sunday show, and he played it, and it was from like early 2020, and they were talking about Trump, and he said, "Yeah, like if you go against the CIA, like they'll do whatever to quiet you."
yeah, that's another, that's like, yeah, it's like folks that are paying attention. Yeah, that's like the conclusion you kind of try to avoid, which is like, oh man, there's this agency that's like really, really powerful. Like,
Well, the
not only
three-letter
like in
agency, so
other
the FDA, the
countries, yeah,
CIA, like they're all kind of
yeah, other countries, like they've been practicing in other countries doing all kinds of crazy controlling, things for so many, decades that they've been like, doing it to us for, at like the highest level, like the most sophisticated levels for a long time. Like when they go to
A
El
lot of countries
Salvador
that
and
never took Monsanto seeds, like turned
yeah,
away
when they go to
Monsanto
El
seeds.
Salvador, it's like easy to topple them over, but it's like in the United States, you're just like
Right.
these nuts are much harder to crack. So
Right.
we need to get real sophisticated on the ways that we control culture, pop culture, celebrities, movies, shows, themes, narratives. And the reason I believe that is not because I've seen it, or been involved in the meetings. It's just I feel like it's just like normal human nature. Like that's
Mhm.
normal human nature, the human condition. If you learn about how the CIA and whatever, how they came about during world wars, where there was like a desperation to, when you're at war, you're just like, we need to like find the sneakiest bastards we have and like put
Mhm.
them to work against our enemies. But it's like, well, then when the war's over and those sneaky bastards are like, don't have
Been
anything to
brought
do.
over to the United States to
Yeah, they
run
don't.
our central
Yeah, they're
government.
just like,
Yes,
we don't
it's
have anything to
fucking
do. It's
weird.
like we can start making up things and like,
Oh,
just idle
yeah,
hands of the devil's plaything, whatever the saying is. Like,
Playground, yeah.
bro.
but yeah, it's like, or anyway, so yeah, like I don't really believe it because it's like I've seen it and read all the documents and all that and watched all the documentaries, but it's like, no, it's just because it's kind of human nature, for like there to form a military would have like fighters, and then they'd have a group of people that would be like, like the spies and the sneaky ones and like the ones that are trying to
Not the sneaky one.
do the psyops and all that kind of stuff. It's like, that wasn't invented in the, 50s or 60s or 40s or whatever. It was invented thousands of years ago.
Yes.
But so it's just human nature that we would just get, when a nation gets so wealthy and so comfortable and so in control of things, that like then they just start doing kind of crazy thing, like just crazy stuff, like things we don't need to do.
Right?
And that's
Like,
kind of the
can we just
story of
chill
our
for a second? Like,
country.
can we stop?
That's kind of the
Oh,
story of our country right now. I think we're about to. That's the story of our country. It's like we did a lot of great things. And then as the world was like, all right, thanks a lot, we're just like, no, we're not done yet. Like we need to maintain this control. Like I know we're all about freedom, but we don't really want you like in the Philippines or in Asia or we don't really want you to be that free.
Right.
right.
Like we want you to be free, but like our kind of free. And I don't really judge us by that. I don't really feel bad about America for that, because it's like, again, that's human nature too. It's like, hey, we've done a lot of good stuff. We feel pretty good about ourselves. So we want to do more. And then, some of those projects are misguided. But I do think, America is amazing and great place, and stands for something, I think, where
Mhm.
stands for like a certain idealism that even a lot of our mistakes are built on that idealism of trying to help. But
Our
as
government's been
as a lot of
overrun
people,
and
like
those ideals aren't really being upheld at this time,
that's
or
just a
do
lot
you
of things. Like that's just human nature. Like when you try to, like, even if it's just like your neighbor or like your family member, your cousins, like you try to help people too much and it can go bad.
yeah.
Then it's like, because then you start thinking like, am I helping them? What am I doing this for? Am I doing it to help them, or am I doing it to like for myself, to make myself feel better, for my own interests? But I don't know. I feel like it always starts out as something good. But I think we're gonna get back to it.
Right.
We got a new generation coming up that's sick of everybody's bullshit.
Hopefully. If they're not, their parents are, and hopefully their parents last night
Yeah,
brought this fucking stand up
I
for
think there are a
your
lot of
rights.
parents there's a lot of parents out there like myself, I think, that are like right or wrong, button heads with kids, our kids, but like also instilling some kind of attitudes in our kids that are just like, man, this is some bullshit,
Yeah.
you know.
I
And it's
can't
like
even
that's it. Like this is
imagine.
some bullshit. You just can't take this bullshit anymore.
So yes, it
Yeah.
is. You're not wrong.
And they're out there riding
Yeah.
their scooters, and on rainbow on pride flags and whatever. They're out there, vandalizing and acting a fool.
After 2020, when like soccer fields were shut down and kids weren't playing sports, like anytime I see kids doing kid shit, I'm just like, yes, like go.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for them. The kids that have those $3,000 scooters, I'm like, you lucky sons of bitches. Like,
Jeez.
go make some skid marks, motherfuckers. Honest. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They got those electric scooters. Like those things are expensive. I told Bill, I'm like, I think I need one of those scooters. Like you see the kids riding around on them. Then I went to Best Buy and looked. I was like, oh well, I don't need one that bad. Shit, I can
Yeah,
buy
there's
like
some
a
they can range from like five. Well, you can get one that's like $200 that'll last like, you know, it'd be like a Huffy from our
yeah,
generation. I think it'd be like a Huffy
yeah.
scooter, or you
Sure.
get, like 600, 3,000,
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
yeah. They're fancy. They're all over. I see like we got a scooter gang in our neighborhood. They're like, "Woo," they go fast.
I
Zooming
think it's
around the
part of the human
streets.
condition too. It's like, yeah,
To go fast or to own a schooner?
Yeah,
or just like
both.
to just start pushing back and like, I don't know, like the trans stuff. What, like when my kids think of daddy, like putting on a dress, like they just start laughing. Like that just makes them laugh. Like, because to them it's like think they when they try to think of the most craziest thing possible, just from you know opposites, they'll
Hmm.
just be like, and then daddy put on a dress, and they'll just like die laughing, like just the idea of like, I
Right.
don't know, it's just
And
like
hopefully they should
they're
know
very
that at some point
simple.
that daddy putting on a dress doesn't make daddy trans. Like Ace talks about like being Mr. T isn't blackface. Like you
Yeah, it
putting
just
on a
made him
dress is
like,
not the same as someone who's
to
trans.
them
Like it's not the same.
to them it's just so opposite of what they understand as nature that
It
it's
should be
funny, that
silly.
it's
It should be
hilarious to them. It's like
silly.
silly. Yeah.
It
He's like,
absolutely should be
what's going
silly.
on right now?
Yeah.
But it's normal too. Like a little kid wants to put on. My son used to wear my daughter's shoes and like put on like little dress, like her, like a little nightie.
Yeah,
Like he was a
opposites.
little boy. It was,
Yeah, it's
and he
opposites.
was
Yeah.
like walk around and we would laugh and it was no big
But they
deal. Like I
realize
wasn't
like
like pushing it down his throat. Like, oh, he must want to dress in Dorothy's shoes. Like, no, I just was
that's
like,
like
it
a
was funny.
learning, I think that's like a learning concept of just opposites.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like what's
for
the opposite
sure.
of up, down? What's the
Yeah,
opposite of happy, sad? What's the opposite of
yeah,
man in suit, man in dress? Like
yeah,
it's a concept. I don't know. I don't know what I'm
yeah.
saying about that, but
It's
they got a
not
free
new.
they
I
got a free
mean,
Trump right now.
oh my gosh. Well, I mean, maybe we'll get a mistrial. Who knows? I'm telling you, if it happens, I'm gonna start posting loud. The people that have been so quiet for the past 4 years while kids have not been in cages, but they've been sold to fucking sponsors over the years that have no problem with it. They've been absolutely silent, but were so loud when Trump was president. The past week they've risen up and now they have a voice again because there's finally he's a felon. Like fuck. Oh, I wish I had a penis so I could say suck it. Hate him.
That's what
Sorry.
that's
I'm
what that's
sorry.
why they're trying to take it away from they're trying to take away his convicted felon status. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's a great
they
point.
made him a convicted felon, and then he raised $200 million, and they're just like, hold on here.
Yeah.
There's jury misconduct here. No, I thought of that because at the moment that you sent that message about what is this, the trial,
Could it be a mistrial?
I saw that video I shared of the black guy on the airplane in
Yeah.
first class with he had a shirt that said checkbox, and one of it said Joe Biden unchecked, and one of it said convicted felon check.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like laughing at that video when you sent that. I was like, they're trying to destroy this man's t-shirt. Like this
They're trying
t-shirt
to
is
take away the
this guy is
convicted
basically saying,
felon.
I'm gonna vote for this convicted felon,
Yeah,
you a-holes. And you're trying to take it
exactly.
away from him. And all the other
Yeah.
mugs, all the convicted felon like
Yeah.
accessories, clothing, scarves, hats,
Dude, all
t-shirts,
I guess we'll see more
lighters.
tomorrow. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
news doesn't really happen on Saturday and Sunday, but that kind of dropped late in the day today.
Donald Trump's an industry because it's like I'm just gonna go on here because it's like
Please.
there's convicted felon beer koozies,
I'm about to
convicted
get some more
felon
champagne. I wish I had
sunglasses.
did you guys see my
There's a
Donald
convicted
Trump
felon
mug?
brand
Like,
of
I'm
shoes
in.
now.
convicted felon
I'm in.
jumpsuits.
I had
Yeah.
to make my own. So
Kanye West has a new brand of liquor called convicted felon vodka. No, I'm just kidding,
yeah.
but now they're trying to take it away, trying to take away his status.
The man's damned if he
I
But
can,
then
mean,
damned
again,
if he
so is
don't.
he because he fought an appeal. So I mean, I guess he's also trying to. But still, like they can't,
Right.
he has to fight to take away that status. Not they can't just like rescind it all willy nilly.
hmm
well, thankfully for him, they'd let the convicted felons walk the street. So
That bothered me. That would
thank
bother
you
me.
for Joe Biden's America.
That would bother me if I bought I'm going to vote for this convicted felon mug and T-shirt and golf balls. The whole all of it, and all of a sudden they take it away and he's not, and it's not those products aren't accurate anymore. Anyway, I'm going to vote for him anyway.
Twice.
I'm not surprised.
Because they get to vote for me and my husband.
Just once, you got to be careful with the jokes.
Oh, sorry.
You know.
Well, we vote. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, but I did vote for Obama twice.
Thanks, Obama.
Well, a vote for Trump is basically destroying. Like, I think Trump kind of like, I would think that's why like the Obama people hate him so much because Trump did kind of undo everything Obama did pretty damn quick.
Which is why Joe Biden walked into office and was like, let's undo every single thing that Trump's done.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Biden was like,
Immediately.
it was like really all Obama people that were running Joe Biden's campaign and administration, I think, that were like, Trump undid everything we did.
Yeah.
We hate him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden, I mean,
That part.
I really, to this day, I really have a hard time not like hating, like feeling like real negative, like real negative, like bad thoughts about Joe Biden because he has no idea what's going on.
My
Or
son
if he
is a
does, he has no
political.
control. He has no control of what's going on. Let's put it that way. He has no control over what's happening.
He's held hostage.
My son's degree is in political science, and he graduated in 2021. So in 2019, like he had so many thoughts about Joe Biden, like and about all of the things that he had done. Like he did seem pretty villainous, like of the things that he was, for and the laws and the things that
you're
he
right.
brought.
Yeah, you're right.
Like he had so many facts, and I was like, wow, I wish I had recorded him
Yeah,
telling
you know
me
what?
about those things, but
Yeah, I should correct what I said because it's like as the president, like
yeah,
when he took office and he like whatever did basically just canceled that pipeline,
yeah, blew up
Keystone,
the other one,
and made
the
gas
Nord
more.
Stream.
Yeah, like he had no idea. He had no idea what was happening. Like those were not his decisions.
No.
You know what I mean? Those were not.
Bless his heart, he pooped on the stage the other day.
But
He needs to like.
yeah,
he
but you're
should be
right.
in a home.
You are right. Like when he was of sound mind,
Yeah,
he was
he
a
made some
he was
fucked
a very
up
bad
shit.
guy.
Yeah,
I think
and
it's safe
does
to
not
say
care
now.
about Black people. Does not care about brown people. He didn't want them in school with his children.
Yeah, I think he flew under the radar. In my opinion, politically, he flew under the radar as kind of like the bad guy he was because he was predictable for Democrats. He was from a small, tiny state where he's guaranteed reelection in Delaware.
Yeah.
And just, voted party lines, and no one ever really took him seriously. And no one was like, this guy's never going to try to be president. This fucking joker.
His daughter's diary came out while you were taking your kids to camp and stuff, and no one's talking about it. It's not on the internet. Like, it's not in main day conversation. Like,
Yeah, they're
people
still
have been
making
told that
jokes.
that was not true for years. They've been called crazy. Oh, you're conspiracy theorist. Like, I'm so sick of this.
To be
It's
fair, like, you can't, I don't want to take a line or two from a diary, and I think it's not fair to like convict someone of something over that,
sure.
but it sure is real suspicious. And yeah, that's all.
That she just came out and said that it is true, it's mine, and that that's not front page news. Yeah,
Well,
that is
she said that's
real.
her diary, but what she said in her diary was not,
Sorry, he's got the zoomies. I
if you,
don't know what to
if
do.
you, no, it's fine. If you hate Joe Biden, you read the lines and you're just like, wow, he did this. But it's like, technically what she said was really vague in the diary. I'm trying to be super objective. Like
Right.
me, myself, like, yeah, you don't have to tell me that Joe Biden's a friggin' pedophile. Like, sold, but it's like, technically speaking, she wasn't real definitive. But like, what kills me is like, for decades, they've been, all the, entertainers du jour have been making jokes about Donald Trump and his daughter. Like, they thought like incest was hilarious.
It's projection. Yeah.
To them, to the Jimmy Kimmels of the world, Jimmy Fallon's of the world, all these, James Corden, all these, just freaking mouthpieces, like, incest jokes about fathers and daughters. It was real funny, real funny for like 10, 15 years, right? Yeah, real funny shit. But like, when you read the current president's daughter's diary that has confirmed to be real about her dad taking showers with her when she was an appropriate age, it's like, okay,
Funny asshole.
Maybe
making that.
I'm not saying you got to talk. I'm not saying Jimmy Kimmel's got to talk about that. Probably wouldn't be good for ratings.
But if he's going to be texting people, he shouldn't be texting people about somebody who is doing that.
I'm just saying, like, knock off the Trump Ivanka or whatever. Yeah. Knock off those jokes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying you got to, like, dive into her Ashley Biden's diary, but maybe stop with the incest jokes.
Maybe.
On the other side, when your guy has a daughter that writing stuff like that in her diary,
and a son.
Yeah, that is the craziest thing about this Hunter Biden trial. The craziest, like, this is what makes me think, like, we are so controlled by the media and the narrative, and like how much energy and
propaganda,
how much energy they put behind something. Because if you are interested in the Hunter Biden trial, it's just a disaster of family dysfunction, just an absolute fucking disaster of dysfunction, drug abuse, just family members being horrible to each other, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters-in-law.
I mean, how soon did he have relations with his dead brother's wife?
I mean, in all, like, this maybe this is something, because it's like, it's hard to be really harsh on that, because it's like, she was obviously he's raised by a scumbag, and he's a drug addict, human trafficker with zero morals. She is a grieving widow who her husband, Bo Biden, I mean, right or wrong, like, her husband was the Attorney General of Delaware, was basically in line to be the next senator from Delaware. And then, like, at this point in their life, they're thinking he's going to be the next president.
Sure.
Or he had a good record, where he was, I don't know much about him, but he was painted as the golden boy, but, and then all of a sudden he's dead. And now, so she's in a vulnerable position. So it's like, man, that's got to be a horrible situation. But in the trial, it's coming out like all the, like, Joe Biden himself, terrible, Hunter Biden, terrible, aunts, Hunter's aunts, uncles, all terrible, all users of people,
His brother with the Epstein
all
Island.
all taking advantage of people.
I mean, do we know that? Just putting that out there. It's something to Google. Joe Biden's
Okay.
brother, Epstein Island.
The there's a chart that shows after Joe Biden was elected vice president, like Hunter Biden started like, I don't know, 13, was it 13? He started a bunch of companies that never produced a product, but all of a sudden had all these like real, like we're raking in millions of dollars
Profit
from
centers. Yeah.
Romania, China, Ukraine, and like feeding the entire Biden family, like aunts, uncles. At one point, the widow of his brother that he was banging, they're all on the
See the
payroll.
chart that
The
Dr. Phil
mother,
brought up with Trump last night about
I
the
don't know, the mother of
Chinese.
maybe that was it. The mother of the the mother, like the Hunter Biden, the stripper that had a relationship with Hunter and then had a baby, who's a Biden baby, but they made a deal where she couldn't have his last name.
Biden,
Is that the one that they
baby.
didn't put the stocking up for?
I believe so.
Well, they did one Christmas. They did last Christmas for like
Okay, but not the
one.
first three.
They can officially say that they've acknowledged her,
Okay,
but they don't anymore. They just did it one
Okay.
time
obviously.
so that they could say that they've officially, like, you can't say that they didn't acknowledge her anymore because they
Yeah.
did one time.
Right.
One time. So,
I hate
Yeah.
them. I mean, I don't hate them. Obviously, I don't hate
But, like,
anybody, but I just
at one
it's
point,
so
that
gross.
woman, the stripper, she was on the payroll of one of the companies that Hunter Biden set up that was bringing in money for Romania and China and Ukraine and one other country. I forget what it was, but like she was even on the payroll at some point. Like there was just, I mean, and I hate to say stuff like this, but just imagine if they had anything like this on Trump or one of his
God.
sons or daughters. I mean, it would just be like,
Imagine if
there'd
Ivanka
be,
had said anything about taking a shower with her. If she had said that her dad put on her shoes and touched her heel,
yeah, there'd
kissed
be
her
a SWAT
foot, like it
team.
would be a fucking
There'd be a SWAT team on every floor of Trump Tower. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
that
yeah,
E. Jean Carroll fucking kooky bitch. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, don't
that
get
was
me
a,
started.
yeah, you have to spend like a whole hour explaining how all that happened. And it's
Uh,
really, it's really like when I think about how the E. Jean Carroll case happened, I think like, wow, that, like I have a
what a
son.
kook.
I have a son
I do too.
that could
Yeah.
get that, like he
If
could
this
be
is the
completely,
precedent, are you
yeah, he could be
kidding me?
completely innocent.
And
And if
ruined.
my son ever makes it big and becomes famous one day,
Could be ruined.
like he could just be ruined by some crazy bitch.
It doesn't like, oh, don't watch that reindeer thing, but I'm telling you, crazy
Oh, I was
bitches
never gonna watch
exist.
that.
Don't
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I was speaking to the masses. The people from where are they listening from, Manny? Shout out
Seychelles.
to Seychelles.
Yeah, thank you for all the new listeners supporting from Seychelles. I don't know how you guys found us, but thanks for the numbers.
It's my OnlyFans.
Oh,
Just
okay.
kidding. Just kidding.
I'm like, if I turn, like, it's rare I watch anything on Netflix, but it's like if I tune into it and actually click onto my profile,
Yeah.
it's usually on the kids. It's like if there's something in like the top 10 or whatever, I'm just like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't think this is really in the top 10. Like I just don't trust the numbers anymore. I don't, they're like, this is the most popular shows in the USA. It's like, are they?
Right.
Among who?
Yeah.
Like, 17-year-olds? Like who?
Mhm. Yeah.
Who's
People who
watching
never
reindeer?
leave their houses.
Yeah.
Like, do we really
Yeah, they're
care?
like, yeah. Reindeer Games is number one
Those are
today in
my people.
America.
Bro, don't watch that movie. Do not watch that series. Do not watch that series. Ace
Among
talked about it on the
recluses and
show.
depressed people.
He's the
Like,
one who made me watch it. I was never gonna watch it, and he was like, "Oh," and him and some other comedian were talking. And they said it was like Two Girls, One Cup, which I never watched that either,
Good
times
for you.
5. And I was like, you know what? Let me just see what the fuck they're talking about. And then I don't even now, like I was never curious about Two Girls, One Cup, but even now, like, wow. Don't watch that show. It's
Yeah.
so disturbing. There's just too many things.
I am
don't plan on
sympathetic
it.
though. I'm sympathetic because I know like some of these shows become such like, cultural phenomenons that like you have to
No.
like, you kind of like, or you become curious.
Like Saltburn. Don't do that one either.
Yeah, was never gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, let me watch all the shows with random weens swinging around.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you,
everybody needs
don't
a
watch
friend that like, yeah, everybody needs a friend that watches all the shows and tells you like, no.
Well, we appreciate you for providing that service for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Lord knows I
My
already
poor
have enough
husband, though,
shows
he's
to
always
keep up
like,
with.
wow, when did they start showing ween in shows? Like, it's just everywhere.
It's the 21st century, baby. Weens all over the place.
It's so crazy.
Someone back in like in the women's suffrage movement. And I'm just like, I'm sure someone can do the research and prove me right. But like back in the women's suffrage movement where like, man, and we weren't really sure if we wanted to give women the right to vote. Some man was probably just like, mark my words, in 87 years, there's going to be a ton of ween on all the shows.
I saw Colin Farrell's ween in a movie that he did, and now every time I see him in a movie, I'm like I remember what it looked like because I've seen it. Like yeah, I don't think they should be seen. I think that they should be like not seen. That's just my own personal opinion.
Seen but not heard, or what is it? No, heard but not seen.
Yeah, make all the noise you
opposite.
want, weens, but I don't want to see it.
It's the opposite of kids.
Yeah.
No, but you don't want to see or hear them. Like,
Yeah.
No,
they started making noises. That'd be real weird.
That'd be
disturbing.
strange, honestly.
It'd be like,
for sure.
start having
All right.
opinion. If
Yeah.
they start having opinions, that'd be
They start
Oof.
sassing you.
a whole nother
What was that
show.
voice? Oh, that was my dick.
He's speaking out.
Yeah.
He's speaking his truth to this week.
He's speaking truth to power. He's sick of the bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that.
I don't think anyone.
Yeah, you need to keep quiet down there.
Seen
Anyway.
but not touched. Thank you, Monkey's uncle. I actually have a heart out, so I think right now would be a good time to end the show, to be honest with you.
All right.
No pun
Well,
intended.
None at all.
Yeah, hard out.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully she cleaned her house.
Hopefully. I don't know.
Oh.
No, it's just band practice. I got to get to the studio in the next 15 minutes.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Band practice.
Yeah.
You bet.
Appreciate all
Killer.
the support, everybody on socials and wherever.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, YouTube. Thanks for keeping the chat active and alive.
Yeah.
Do what you want. Get it on, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Get it on. Do what you want.
Happy Friday.
We'll see you next week.
TGIF. Yes.